Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. You've probably all heard of the Try a Chapter tag, which is the tag where you try a chapter of 5 different books, the first chapter of each of those. You read them and then you decide from what you've read which one you want to carry on with at that time. Well, as you know, it's coming up to the Let's Get Graphic readathon, which is taking place this Saturday, which is hosted by myself and the lovely Caitlin from Kitty G. We do a one-day graphic novel readathon where you just read graphic novels for one day, read as many of them as you can and try and catch up on maybe some of those series that you haven't been reading. I'll leave a link here for you if you didn't know about it and to give you some idea of the prompts that we're using this year. However, I went to my local comic book shop this weekend and I decided to do something a little bit different. I've picked up 5 first issues of comics and I'm going to be reading all 5 of them. I'm not going to read like a page of them or anything like Try a Chapter. I'm going to read a whole one issue. And from that one issue, I'm going to decide which of these I want to carry on with in the future. So I'll just quickly, briefly tell you which 5 they are, and then I'm going to go away and read them and come back and let you know my thoughts. So the first one I picked up is issue 1 of The Jetsons. I'm really excited about this one. It's The Jetsons was a TV show that I watched a little bit, I think, as a child. It was a sort of a TV show cartoon about a family that lived in space, so I'm intrigued to see where they've gone with this comic. I also picked up issue 1 of something called Angelic. This sounds a little bit different. Apparently this is set centuries after humanity has disappeared and Earth belongs to our leftovers, the animals, genetically modified for a war they don't remember, guarding a world they don't understand. But for one young winged monkey, the tribal routines are unbearable. Her name is Cora. She yearns to explore, to learn and to fly free. This is part 1 of her story, so I'm looking forward to that. I also picked up something called Glitter Bomb. Now I think there has already been a sort of arc of this already, but apparently it doesn't matter, I don't think, where you pick it up. So I've picked up issue 1 of Glitter Bomb, The Fame Game. This says it's about Caden Clay, who wants to be famous. She wants it more than anything else she's ever known. The dream is hers for the taking and all she has to do is embrace the national tragedy that has put her in the spotlight. So this sounds really interesting. Apparently this looks at the entertainment industry and how it feeds on our insecurities, desires and fears, and how you can't toy with those primal emotions without them biting back. So I look forward to finding out what happens in that one. I loved this particular series growing up, and so I've picked up an issue 1 of I don't know if it's a reboot, but it's certainly a retelling, and it's been written by Rainbow Rowell. So this is Runaways issue 1. I loved the Runaways before, although it looks like the Runaways are all grown up now. In the one that I used to read, they were sort of young people, so maybe 11 to 15. This says, when they were younger, Nico Minoru, Chase Stein, Gertrude Yorks, Carolina Dean, Molly Hayes and Alex Wilder became friends through circumstance, hanging out once a year, every year, while their parents had what they claimed was a dinner party. The trauma made them a family. They ran away together after discovering their parents were actually murderous supervillains. The Runaways learned to use powers and resources inherited from their parents to return to defeat them. The kids won, but they didn't all survive. Everyone left has done their best to move on, but it hasn't been easy. So this sounds like it's a continuation of the original, which is brilliant. And the final one that I want to try is called Genius Cartel issue 1. I just thought the front cover of this looked brilliant. I don't know anything at all about it. This one doesn't really tell you anything about it on the inside or the back cover. So I think this is going to be one that I go in totally blind. So I'm hoping. The artwork is definitely something that I like the look of, so we shall see what happens when I read it. So that is the 5 comics that I want to try the first issue of. I will come back to you in a minute and let you know which ones I enjoyed. Okay, so I've just finished reading The Jetsons and I really enjoyed this. It's the story of a family. You've got a mum, a dad and the 2 children, and they are living in a world where a meteor has caused Earth's water to rise so much that it's caused catastrophic events, and so now they're living in a world where they're in sort of these space stations just above the Earth's atmosphere, because the Earth is uninhabitable. And George, who is the dad, is working for sort of like a technology company. The mum is a scientist quite high up in sort of the council and the board for this new world. And the daughter and son are doing various things as well. I think the daughter's at university and the son is, I think he's around 15 in this. Anyway, it just follows their story. The son decides to go down to under the water to where Earth is sort of left crumbling with his mate in like some sort of ship that can go underwater, because he wants to go and get something for his dad, and causes some sort of chain reaction which we don't know much about yet. There's also another meteor heading towards Earth, so the mum's dealing with that. This is great. I really loved the artwork in this. It's just my sort of artwork, just my sort of colour palette, and I just really loved how the story's going. So this is definitely the one at the moment that I would carry on with. I would give this issue a 4 stars, a solid 4 stars. So let's see what I think of the next one. Okay, so I just finished Angelic, and this was a real weird one for me. Yeah, it's just really weird. It's set in a time where there's no humans, there's monkeys and like hybrid dolphins that chase the monkeys for sport. There's sort of this hybrid version, and there's all this weird law and religion that the monkeys have got. I think this one might be a bit too weird for me. It certainly wasn't up there with the Jetsons for me, so I would probably give this one a 3 star, and I'm not sure I'd carry on with it. So at the moment, after 2, the Jetsons is the one that I would carry on with. So I'm going to move on to the next one and I will come back to you. Okay, so I just started Glitter Bomb and I read the first page, and I think it's quite obvious that the first volume of this, the first 4 issues which created a volume, are going to be quite important for the prequel for this story. I think it's not worth reading this until I've read that. So I think this is definitely, though, from the look and feel of it so far, from just sort of a couple of pages, it's going to be something that I'm really interested in. So I'm going to go and order myself volume 1 of this before I read any more of this one. So this is out of the running in terms of continuing just for now, because I want to start with volume 1. So far, out of the 3 that I've read, The Jetsons is the one that I want to carry on reading as single issues so far. I've still got 2 more to read, so I'm going to go and do that now. Okay, so I've just finished reading this. I love it. It's definitely up there with The Jetsons. The Runaways original arc, I feel like would be beneficial to reread or to go back over, because this sort of follows on from what happened at the end of the last one. So the characters, I feel, may need a little bit of explaining. However, I think I have enough knowledge to keep going with this, and I can probably find out the final synopsis for what happened at the end. But I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the writing. It was really fast paced, a really fast read. I really enjoyed the colour and the characters, and yeah, I'm intrigued to see where this goes. So far, both of these are on 4 stars, and both are going to be ones that I'm going to continue with. Let's see if there's going to be a third. Okay, so I've now finished issue 1 of Genius Cartel, issue 1. I really enjoyed this too. It was a slow burner. I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it, but I really did. This seems to be set, it's around the Black Lives Matter movement. You've got the Black Lives Matter sort of poster girl who has been standing up for the rights of her people. It's caused this big protest. There's been all sorts of violence gone on. She's got some sort of, whether she's a genius or whether there is some sort of powers, extra powers, I don't know, but she has been taken in by this sort of unit that want to use her to train her with other people in this institution to be sort of a tool for them. She's very, well, she's a genius in terms of tactical and war and battle behaviours, and they're sort of training her up, but she doesn't really, she's only gone in to save her people from what was happening when the protests got out of control. She's not going to be used as a tool by these people, and she is resisting it, and they're looking to try and break her and bring her into the fold. I thought it was really good, really interesting. I think this would definitely be a 3.5 to 4 stars. So just to wrap that up, I did pretty well in my predictions of what I would like. I'm definitely going to be carrying on with the Jetsons, so that is one that I will be carrying on with. I'm definitely going to be carrying on with Runaways. That is a second that I'm going to carry on with. I'm definitely going to carry on with the Glitter series, but I'm going to go back and read volume 1 first. I'm definitely going to be carrying on with Genius Cartel. And so the only one, unfortunately, that I won't be carrying on with is Angelic, which was okay, but just not good enough to carry on. And that was a really good exercise for me, picking up 5 issues of comics, first issues that I wanted to try. And out of those 5, 4 I will be continuing with. So I'm really pleased with that. Definitely, do you know what? I can't even. I was going to go and pick my favourite out of the 4, but I don't think I can. Possibly the Jetsons, but they were all really good. So this was a really great exercise, and I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into those a little bit more. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you've read any really good first issues recently or started any series that you think I might enjoy, and I look forward to speaking to you soon and to speaking to you all while we're doing Let's Get Graphic on Saturday. Bye for now, BookTube.